Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of your favorite morning, whatever the fuck this is. That is Good Morning Soul, and today I'm gonna be talking about good old YouTube, everyone's favorite website ever. Today I'm gonna be talking about like the earliest stage of my YouTube watching career. Yeah, let's call it that. And what I used to be into stuff I would never watch today. And back in the day, I think I have to make it clear that I didn't have a computer for a very long time. Like people make fun of me for not being able to know certain things around a computer despite the fact that I'm, on the computer all the time now. But a lot of those people that I'm talking about, they grew up with computers. They were on the early internet days. They knew all these things for years, whereas I don't think I actually had internet till I was a sophomore in high school. I had glimpses of the internet before that, and I did watch YouTube before that, but I didn't even bother making an account back then because it was what was the point? I never was able to have internet for long periods of time. I remember as a kid we briefly had a computer, but I didn't know what sites to go back on back then. I didn't know how to entertain myself, and there wasn't things to stream, and internet fucking sucked back then, and the computer could easily get virus, and there was a million reasons why not to use a computer back then, whereas today it's much more accessible for everyone. And I remember watching other people pull up YouTube for really funny videos, and I thought that's what YouTube was. It was just a place to pull up funny videos. The idea that you could have a channel with content and do basically a TV show, not format, but have episodes come out however you want, and that a personality can be behind that. I didn't understand that for a very long time, until after YouTube had been around for a while. And I remember a lot of the channels I watched back then were just music related, because that's how I would listen to music, and that's how a lot of people still listen to music, is through YouTube. And I remember around this time is when I started to get into collecting. I really wanted to start collecting games and stuff like that. I was already kind of collecting movies, but I wanted to collect video games and books and all these other things. So a lot of the channels I watched were other collectors and other reviewers. I've always been interested in reviewers. Even today, a lot of what I watch are analysis and things talking about art, art being music, games, movies, etc. And that's still the bulk of what I watch. But back then, a lot of collecting stuff. I remember there was this channel by a guy named Pete Dorr, and he introduced I was already collecting movies, and then I saw him, and basically a lot of the videos he did were just here's my Xbox 360 collection, and it was just him holding up a bunch of video games. It was just maybe I just like the stimulus of a person, here's a video game, let's talk about it. Here's another video game, let's talk about it. Even as a kid, I just loved having games in my hand and being able to go to a store. And I didn't have that many stores around where I was. There was a video renting store and a game renting store, and I love going to those places. But I never was able to buy that many games. So then I see this dude with this massive collection behind him, and he's just talking about old school video games, and that led me to subscribe to other channels like that. There's a guy called Happy Console Gamer who I still watch, and Pete Dorr, by the way, he doesn't even do YouTube anymore. He's on Twitch, and so I don't really watch him anymore, unfortunately. But these guys, I was not subscribed to these guys until I remember the first time I made a YouTube account was when I was visiting my aunt, and I was I might as well just make an account. I keep pulling up YouTube and pulling up things. And I remember, like, I don't think anybody does that anymore. You would click on a channel, go to the video tab, and just see if there's a new video. Or back then, you know, the YouTube layout was a lot different. Like, it was a lot more accessible for what I'm talking about now. Like, you didn't even necessarily need a feed. You would have the people you watch, and you just click on their channel, and boom, that's like, you would know whether they have new content or not just by clicking right there. And I remember, like, my brother, like, briefly, like, he was, like, we had another computer at one point in time, but, like, again, it had the same problems as before, and I still sucked at computers. And, you know, I remember he, like, got really into, like, Shane Dawson and Smosh and all the other big YouTubers that were going on at that time. Like, mainstream, like, YouTube, like the Ray William Johnsons and all that, like, that's what he was watching back in the day. Like, he was very into the, like, personalities that were coming out of that time period. And, like, I remember I just watched the videos with him because, you know, I just kind of did whatever he was doing a lot of the time. And, you know, a lot of the channels weren't producing that good of content. It was probably just stuff that I thought was funny because I was so young. I'm not saying that, like, those channels are bad or anything. Like, I can't really say because I haven't watched them in so many years. But just remembering some of the cringy jokes and stuff that were coming out back then. Like, YouTube looks so much different nowadays. And, you know, just the way thumbnails look and just the algorithm and all the other million things that, like, were coming out of YouTube, it's completely different nowadays. Nigahiga, he was another big channel that I remember watching. I remember watching really early Nigahiga videos, like the how to be gangster ones and how to be ninja, whatever it was. And all these guys had, like, music, like, parody videos that I thought were funny for some reason. Shane Dawson too, he had a couple, like, weird dumb parodies, and for some reason those videos, you know, they got a bunch of views. Like, I don't know if it was just a bunch of kids watching those or if, like, there was just so little content back then that, you know, it was just the thing to watch back then, I guess. But, you know, once I got a subscription going, like a subscription feed, and I actually started, like, watching YouTube, like, I would just click on YouTube and go to my subscription feed, it was more like the channels that I was talking about there. And those channels eventually led to, you know, the floodgates being opened. I remember just searching for, like, PS2 collection videos, stuff like that. I was just really into collecting videos and, like, videos where it's like, oh, here's all the, you know, the movies I bought lately. Here's game by game or whatever. There's a couple podcasts and stuff like that specifically about this kind of stuff. And yeah, that's all I really remember watching. I remember, like, I would watch wrestling videos, like, just not like channels about wrestling like I watch now, but, like, just specifically, like, here's, like, 10 cool finishers, like, here's 10 cool entrance themes. List videos, those are always gonna be popular no matter what, and even back then those were pretty good. I'm trying to remember other things. I remember there was a series called Super Mario Bros. Z, and it was a cartoon parody with, like, Sonic and Mario, but they were, like, fighting, like, Dragon Ball Z characters. I don't know if that's still around. I haven't searched for that in a minute, but I really remember being into that for a little bit. Again, there was epic rap battles. I remember watching that from the beginning. Team 4-Star, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I've been watching that from the beginning. You know, before each of those had, like, millions of subscribers. I remember watching them back when they had, like, only, like, 3 to 4 episodes, stuff like that. And, you know, I feel like so proud when I see other people who, like, actually pull up YouTube and go to the subscription feed, because that's people who actually watch YouTube. Like, recently, like, my brother, like, was talking about people he's subscribed to, and I was just so proud. I was like, you have a subscription feed? Like, oh my god. And yeah, And I obviously watch a lot more YouTube now, like now that like I know like what's going on with the platform and all of that. But back then, you know, it was just the wild, wild west, and, you know, everything and anything was going on. And I, for some reason, was just really into these little niches and watching music and other things. And, yeah, I think we're at the 10-minute mark, so I think I'm gonna cut the video off there. What did you guys used to watch? Did you used to watch some cringy shit? Like, I know kids nowadays, they probably like some of the stuff they watch now. I'm sure they're gonna remember it like how I remember this, like this stuff that I used to watch. But yeah, anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and with that, I leave you.